Hi, I want to share two separate things that happened this morning that ended up being related. It actually ended up feeling very synchronistic. The first was when I opened up my meditation app, Insight Timer. As soon as you open it up, you're greeted with a quotation. And today's quotation was, "It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are." This is from E.E. Cummings. And two things. I thought, have I become who I really am? And also I thought, wow, it also takes courage to grow old and continue to be who you really are. So that's one thing that got me thinking. And then the second thing was I opened up an older notebook looking for ideas for you all. And this piece of paper was right in the front. So it's just a list that I created. I don't know when, because heaven forbid I should date anything, but I know it was a while ago because I don't remember writing it. So the list is 10 steps to a happier day. And I really felt like that fit in with the quote, not just like who you really are, but also almost as if your days are happier, maybe you're more open to seeing who you really are, to being who you really are. And so I thought it would be fun to go through this list with you. And also, I'm going to recommit myself to this list and really shoot for every day to follow this list. And at the end of a month, I'll do it for 30 days. I'll let you know how it went. And I'll let you know if I feel any different, better, same, whatever. Now, I do some of these things, but let's just start with the first one. Allow time for one good cup. So one good cup for me is at least one good cup of coffee in the morning, which means I'm not frantically running around the house trying to get ready or starting another project, setting down my coffee cup. The coffee gets cold, I heat it up. I never actually enjoy the cup of coffee. So one good cup means I sit down with my cup of coffee and either just look out the window or have a journal. I think I'm gonna restart where I actually list the things I'm grateful for that day. I found that as well today, a journal that just had gratitude lists for every day. And I really like that idea. The second thing is affirmations. I used to be so just honed in on affirmations. When I was commuting every day, I really followed the when I, then I. When I started my car, then I started my affirmations. I knew all my affirmations by heart, so that was pretty easy to do. And I would say each affirmation 5 times. So when I read that, then I said, where are the affirmations you used to say? And I found the notebook that has them in it. So I'm going to start saying 3 affirmations every morning, each one 5 times. And I'll let you know how that goes as well. I think I'm going to do a follow-up video around affirmations, how to create your own affirmations, what I think about affirmations. So that's forthcoming. The next thing on the list is a priorities list. And here it says Post-its, ? Create. So I love the idea of every morning after or during my one good cup to create a priorities list. And I feel that since I'm still working half time, on the days that I'm working, I could create a priorities list for work that day, which would really help me. And when your time is compressed, you really have to stay on point then for what things you need to get done and want to get done. But also every day I'm going to create a priorities list for creativity as well, or the things that I just want to do or get done around the house. Now, part of that priorities list, I am going to make it be fun things as well. So I'm excited about that. I'm not going to do it right this second. I'll share that later. The next thing on the list was diffuse oils, and that's what makes me think maybe I wrote this a while ago. Not that I don't diffuse, I do, but it's like, well, I don't know if that would make my day happier. However, I would say, where'd I put it? I don't know. If you have, if you have essential oils, what I've noticed is, especially if I'm working, if I'm looping about something or something's bothering me or upsetting me, if I just open up the bottle and take a deep breath and just smell it, or even dab a little bit on my wrists or in my hand, rub it together and then sniff that, that can create a pattern interruption for you. And depending on the oil, it can be very uplifting. You know, like a citrus oil. This happens to be lavender, but anything will work. And actually upstairs right now, I have a simmer pot going because I made guacamole and had to cut a red onion, and my husband hates that smell. So I have a simmer pot going upstairs with like cinnamon and lemon in it. So that also can help lift your mood. Then I have Pomodoro, concentrated focus. So the Pomodoro technique was invented by an Italian university student in the late 80s. At least that's what the internet told me. Now, Pomodoro comes from the tomato kitchen timer. But when we were little in the 60s, my mom would set the kitchen timer for 15 minutes and actually get us all excited about cleaning and picking up. So she'd set the timer for 15 minutes and say, what can we get done in 15 minutes? And then we'd just like, tear about and just get all excited. And then the timer would go off and we'd laugh. And then it would be like, let's do it again. Oh my gosh. So I feel like she invented that. Now my grown-up self works better with the Pomodoro method of 25-minute increments of focused head down work. This is so helpful for when I'm working, but also when I'm writing, because sometimes when I'm writing, I have a tendency to just like pop up, pop down, pop up, pop down. It's like I can't sit still. I'm not sure what that is, but when I set the timer, I know that that's just what I'm concentrating on. And for whatever reason, it works. So I'm going to start doing that again anytime I need to do focus work. The next item is lunch away from computer. I am pretty good about this when I'm at work. I have a pretty sweet setup. I have a nice office at work away from home when I'm in the office. So I can walk away from my desk and not even see my computer screen. It's the back of my computer, sit at a table and eat my lunch. When I'm working at home, I just go upstairs and eat my lunch. Every once in a while, I catch myself eating in front of the computer, trying to get more work done. And so I'm really going to concentrate on not doing that. I think it's good for our brains to get away from the screen. The next thing is walk or dance, which I highly recommend both. I'm pretty good, I'd say very good with a walk every day. I would like to make sure I do it every day, and I'll give myself a little out. If it's raining, I'll hop on the elliptical. So even when I'm at work, a lot of times after lunch, I will go for a quick walk. These aren't in complete order because sometimes I can take a walk in the morning, sometimes I take it after dinner. The next thing is leave work at work. And this has become increasingly important the less time I work. So right now I'm on phased retirement. I work 20 hours a week. And then obviously I have 20 hours off of work. But what happens is many times meetings are scheduled outside of my set work hours. And depending on the meeting, the priority of that meeting, I may have to adjust my schedule and then do that meeting. Also, sometimes people reach out to me outside of work hours. I think for me, mainly leaving work at work is once I am done with the day, even if I've adjusted my schedule, if I'm done with the meeting for the day, that I just walk away from my computer. If I'm working at home, I'm going to get in the habit of actually shutting down my work computer so that it's just one more speed bump to get it open again and to check emails, because I also have a tendency of checking emails in between the days that I'm working. So I'm really going to concentrate on having better boundaries around that. The next thing is eat dinner together without TV. Now, my husband and I rarely eat dinner together. He works until 3. He likes to eat as soon as he gets home. He's a carnivore. I am not. So it's rare that we eat dinner together. So a little caveat that if alone, I eat at the table. Try not to have distractions. And I will say this might be a little bit difficult lately, because I've gotten into a habit of turning on YouTube and watching YouTube while I eat. And I don't think that that's the best way to enjoy my meals. So I am really going to work hard at not having my phone while I'm eating. However, I will let myself read. The next item is prepare for tomorrow. This is actually something that I am pretty good at now, but I would say I don't do it every day, or I don't do it as often as I should. It helps me so much that, to the point, the other day, it was Sunday, Monday, it doesn't matter. And I pulled out it was Sunday. I pulled out the clothes that I was going to wear for Monday, and then for Tuesday, and for Wednesday. And when I say pull them out, actually what I did was, like, here's the bottom, here's the top, here's the scarf, here's the jacket, whatever it might be, hang it all together in the closet. Next day, pick that all out, hang it right after that in the closet. And that helps me so much. The other thing that I try to prepare for the next day is my lunch. So I try to make that the night before. I've talked about this before. I don't know why time runs on a different speed in the morning than it does in the evening for me. In the morning, time just rushes by, and I always feel like I'm playing catch up if I haven't prepared the night before. So I am going to get so good at that, even for days that I'm not working or that I'm working from home, because I know that it helps me. I know that it does. And then the final thing is meditate. Now, I realize that this is actually 11 things, and I must have added meditate afterwards. You can see it doesn't even have a number next to it. Meditate should have been at the top, because as I shared, I was opening up my meditation app this morning when the first of these two things happened. So that is my plan, is to follow this guide. And I invite you to either follow this guide with me, I'll just write it out in the description for you, or create your own guide that you think might help you have a happier, better, more productive, however you want to say it in a positive way, day. And I'd love to hear about your plans. And also at the end of May, I'll do a follow-up video and tell you all how I did. And then the next video that I'm going to do will be all about affirmations. So join me for that as well. Thanks so much for being here. Like, subscribe, all the things. See you next time.